This conference will now be recorded.
Dear students, in last class, we started the subject of engineering mechanics. In the last class, I explained the course objectives of this engineering mechanics, the course outcomes, the syllabus, the textbooks, and also the reference, web references, all I explained in the last class. Then we started the unit 1 in last class. In engineering mechanics, the unit 1 is Introduction to Engineering Mechanics. In that Introduction to Engineering Mechanics, Unit 1, again we have 3 parts. Last class we started that first part. In that first part, I explained the definition of mechanics. First I explained what is science. The science is a systemized body of knowledge. Science is the quest for truth. Science is the way of life. We classify the science into 2 branches. One is called theoretical and experimental science. Next one is called applied science. The engineering comes under the applied science category. The entire engineering, all branches of engineering comes under applied science. In our civil engineering, the basic subject is engineering mechanics. Our civil engineering starts with the subject of engineering mechanics. This engineering mechanics provides all the fundamentals required for the other subjects in civil engineering. You have 28 subjects up to final year in civil engineering. Please remember, 28 subjects including electives. 28 subjects are there in civil engineering. All 28 subjects are depending on this engineering mechanics. That is the importance of this subject in civil engineering. So please attend my classes regularly. Wherever you have doubts, please discuss with me. So if you are complete knowledge in engineering mechanics, you can study the remaining subjects in civil engineering very easily. So that is the importance of this particular engineering mechanics in civil engineering. The 28 subjects of civil engineering are based on this basic subject of engineering mechanics. So in the last class, I explained the definition of engineering mechanics. It is an applied science. In engineering mechanics, we study the laws and principles of mechanics along with applications also. In engineering mechanics, we study the applications of practical applications of laws of mechanics and laws and principles of mechanics. Then I explained the classification of engineering mechanics, mechanics of solids and mechanics of fluids. Like that, we classify this engineering mechanics. Then in unit 1, first I explained the definition of rigid body. This is the fundamental concept, rigid body. Dear students, so far you have not heard about this rigid body. Please listen this rigid body, understand this rigid body carefully. Simple definition. If the forces are not acting on the body, for example, if I take a wooden duster, for example, let me in the class, if I take the wooden duster, if there is no forces acting on that wooden duster have the constant shape and constant size, because no forces are acting on that wooden duster. But if I apply the forces on that body, even though the forces are acting on the body, if the body has the same shape and size, then we call the body as a rigid body. So that is the definition. If there is no change in either the shape or size of a body under the action of forces, number of forces, not 1 or 2, number of forces, 10, 20, 30, whatever it may be, when there is no change in either the shape or size of a body under the action of external forces, then we call the body as a rigid body. Rigid body is a solid body. It is not the liquid or gas. Rigid body is a solid body. We consider that solid body as a rigid body if there is no change in either the shape or size of that body under the action of forces. We call that body as a rigid body. That is the definition of rigid body. So check this diagram in the cell phones. So in this diagram, here we have the body. No forces acting on the body here. In this body, no forces are acting. If no forces are acting on the body, we know that there is no change in the shape of the body and also size of the body because no forces are acting. So the body remains same because no forces. But on this body, I apply the number of forces. Even though number of forces are acting on the body, if the body has the same shape and size, whatever the shape and size in the first case, if the body has the same shape and size in the second case under the action of external forces, we call this body as a rigid body. That is the definition. So if the body has same shape and size under the action of external forces, or if there is no change in either the shape or size of the body under the action of external forces, we call the body as a rigid body. That is the simple definition. Then we have the second definition of rigid body. Last class I explained. The second definition is, take that diagram first diagram. So I have a body. I consider 2 points in the body AB. Let the distance between these 2 points is x. If no forces acting on the body, the distance x remains constant. Because if no forces are acting on the body has same shape and size. If the body has same shape and size, the distance also constant. So without external forces on the body, no change in the distance between point A and point B. But I applied the forces on this body. So second diagram. On this body, I apply the number of forces. Even though number of forces are acting on the body, if the distance between point A, point B in the body remains same. Without forces, x is the distance. With force also, x is the distance. That means there is no change in the distance between point A, point B in the body under the action of external forces. Then we call this body as a rigid body. That is the second definition. The second definition is from the first definition. We know that when the body is a rigid body, there is no change in the shape and size of the body. So if there is no change in shape and size of the body, the distance also constant. This distance x changes. The x value changes if the shape of the body changes and size of the body changes. But in rigid body, even though the external forces are acting on the body, if the body is a rigid body, then there is no change in shape and size of the body. If there is no change in shape and size of the body, the distance x is also constant under the action of external forces. So you can call this body as a rigid body. That is the second definition. So like that, in engineering mechanics, we are going to start this subject from the definition of rigid body. So please remember those definitions. I will give you the complete material of unit 1. You need not to collect from the textbooks. I will provide that complete material along with numerical problems. Read that concepts carefully and try to get as much knowledge as possible in this subject. So first, the rigid body. If there is no change in either the shape or size of the body under the action of external forces, we call the body as a rigid body. Second definition, if the distance between 2 points in the body remains same under the action of external forces, We can also call the body as a rigid body. In engineering mechanics, we assume all the bodies in engineering mechanics are considered as the rigid bodies. That is the assumption in engineering mechanics. Then coming to the definition of force in unit 1. The unit 1 entirely deals with the concept of force. We are going to study the complete concept of force in engineering mechanics. So I am going to start that concept of force from the starting point, the definition of force. What is the definition of force? Yesterday one student gave the excellent definition, that is totally correct, but for your understanding purpose, I am going to discuss this force from the basic concept. We have, please listen everyone, we have the definition of force from the Newton's first law. Newton's first law provides us the definition of force. You might have studied in the lower classes 3 Newton's laws of motion: Newton's first law of motion, Newton's second law of motion, and Newton's third law of motion. In the higher level, Newton's first law of motion is called qualitative law of force. Qualitative law of force. Newton's first law of motion is called qualitative law of force. If anybody studied the Arihant series in intermediate, either for the IIT JEE exam or some other exam, if any one of you studied that Arihant series for IIT coaching, that is the prescribed textbooks, Arihant series, or H.C. Verma is there, physics textbook by H.C. Verma, definitely you come across this Newton's first law as qualitative law of force. Newton's second law is called quantitative law of force. Newton's third law is called the law of action and reaction. Those are all the other observations of Newton's laws. The Newton's first law of motion is called qualitative law of force because Newton's first law describes the qualities of force. What are the basic qualities of force? We studied in Newton's first law. So we are going to discuss the definition of force from Newton's first law of motion. Please everyone understand this definition carefully. Then you can understand the remaining concepts in unit 1 clearly. So coming to that Newton's first law, this is the great man Sir Isaac Newton. He is the rank 1 scientist, even though he was died in 1727. Born in 1642, died in 1727. Even today also, the first rank in scientist goes to this great man Sir Isaac Newton. He has his contributions in mathematics. He has his contributions in physics. He has his contributions in chemistry. Even in civil engineering also, you have this Newton's contributions. You might have studied in the second, third final year what is the contributions of the great man Newton in our civil engineering also. Since he has his contributions in the entire domain of science, this great man is considered as the first rank scientist. Now coming to this Newton's first law of motion. I hope you remember that Newton's first law studied in the lower classes. Please everyone read that Newton's first law. Newton's first law states that Newton's first law, it states that a body at rest condition continues to be in the same rest condition, and a body in uniform motion continues to be in the same uniform motion condition in the same direction unless they are acted upon by external force. They are acted upon by external force. So check that slide in the cell phone screens. Please everyone read that Newton's first law. Already you studied the Newton's first law. Is it visible, please? The Newton's first law is visible on the cell phones. Give me the response, please.
Hello, sir. Sir, it is not visible.
Sir,
Not visible, sir.
Yes, sir. Now it is visible, sir.
mute.
Just
Now,
a minute.
Now it is visible, sir.
sir, visible, sir.
Is it visible, students?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So please check that Newton's first law. Can you see that Newton's first law? Please give me the response. Can you see that Newton's first law in the cell phones?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes,
Okay.
I
sir.
can see, sir.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
Please unmute the mics. Unmute the
Yes, sir.
mics. Okay. Please everyone read that Newton's first law of motion. You might have studied this Newton's first law in the lower classes. Again, in engineering mechanics also, to define that definition of force, to understand the definition of force, I am starting from this Newton's first law. So what is that Newton's first law statement? A body at rest condition continues to be in the same rest condition. A body in uniform motion. Uniform motion means constant velocity. If the body moving with constant velocity in the same direction, that is called uniform motion of body. A body in uniform motion continues to be in the same uniform motion condition in the same direction unless acted upon by external force. So this is Newton's first law statement. This Newton's first law giving us the quality of force. From Newton's first law, we can understand the quality. The quality of force is the force changes the rest condition of body. That is first quality. So check that Newton's first law. Without force, no change in the rest condition of body. That is Newton's first law. If there is no force acting on the body, there is no change in the rest condition of body. That indicates to change the rest condition of body, we must apply the force on the body. If a body is in rest condition, to change the rest condition of body, we must apply the force on the body. That is first quality. The first quality of force is to change the rest condition of body. The second quality from the same Newton's first law. The second quality to change the uniform motion of body. The Newton's first law states that there is no change in the uniform motion of body if there is no force acting on the body. If force is not acting on the body has same uniform motion. That means to change that uniform motion of body, we must apply the force on the body. That is the second quality. So the force has two qualities from Newton's first law. The first quality, the force changes the rest condition of body. The second quality, the force changes the uniform motion of body. So from Newton's first law, we can understand these two qualities of body, either to change the rest condition of body or the uniform motion of body, we must apply the force on the body. So that is the important quality of the force. From that quality of the force, what is that quality? The force is required to change the rest condition of body and also motion of the body. Here, dear students, please listen this carefully. Here, if we apply small force on the body, for example, let the body is in rest condition. If we apply small force on the body, that small force tries to change the rest condition of body. Sometimes force could not change the rest condition. If I apply the large force, then that large force changes the rest condition. But if I apply the small force on the body, that small force tries to change the rest condition of body. Similarly, If I apply the large force on uniform motion of body, it changes the uniform motion. But if I apply small force, it tries to change the uniform motion. So like that, the force quality, if the force is small magnitude, it tries to change either the rest condition of body or the uniform motion of body. If force is large magnitude, it changes the rest condition of body and also the uniform motion of body. So from Newton's first law, we can understand the quality of force. What is that quality? The force must be applied on the body, not in the air. If I want to change the rest condition of body, I must apply the force on the body, not in the air. By applying the force in the air, if I want to change the rest condition, it is not possible. To change the rest condition, you must apply the force only on the body. Since the force is always acting on the body, we call that force as action. So that is important here. Try to understand each and every point in force. Always the force is acting on the body. It is not acting on the air. Since always the force is acting on the body, we call the force as an action. So that is the meaning of action in force. Action indicates the force is always in contact with the body. So from Newton's first law, you can define the qualities of force. The force is an action because it is acting on the body. The force is an action which tries to change. When the force tries to change, if the force is small magnitude, it tries to change. So the force is an action which tries to change or changes. When the force changes, it is large magnitude. If the force is small magnitude, it tries to change the rest condition or the uniform motion of body. If a force is large magnitude, it changes the rest condition and also uniform motion of body. So like that, from Newton's first law, we can define the force. Please everyone listen this definition carefully. From Newton's first law, we can define the physical quantity of force. I hope you know force is a physical quantity, vector physical quantity. We will discuss that later. So that force is defined as, from Newton's first law, we define the force as an action. Why we are calling it as action? Because it is acting on the body. Since it is acting on the body, we consider the force as an action. The force is an action which tries to change or changes either the rest condition of body or uniform motion of body on which the force is applied. That is the definition. Please everyone go through this definition of force. Please give me the response, students. Can you see this definition of force in the cell phones?
Yes, sir.
Is the changes?
Yes, sir.
Okay, thank you. Please unmute the mics. Dear students, everyone go through this definition of force. If we have any doubts in the definition of force, please discuss with me. The force is defined as an action. Just now I explained. We consider the force as an action because the force is always acting on the body, not in the air. By applying the force in the air, if you want to change the rest condition of body, it is not possible. If I am trying to change the rest condition of body or changing the rest condition of body, I must apply the force on the body. Always the force acting on the body, so it is called an action. So each and every term, please read in engineering mechanics clearly. From basics onwards, we are going to study the concepts in engineering mechanics. So try to get the utmost advantage from this subject. the force is defined as an action. So everyone should have understanding about this term action. Important. Action indicates the force is always acting on the body. So the force is defined as an action which tries to change. When the force tries to change, if the force is small magnitude, it tries to change. Which tries to change or changes. When the force changes, if it is a large magnitude. So the force is defined as an action which tries to change or changes either the rest condition, state of rest, or the state of uniform motion of body on which the force is applied. This is the definition of force extracted from Newton's first law. Since we got this definition of force from Newton's first law, we call that Newton's first law as qualitative law of force. That is the reason why we call that Newton's first law as qualitative law. Newton's first law gives us this definition of force. So please everyone go through the definition. The force is defined as an action which tries to change. Please understand that carefully. If the force is small magnitude, it tries to change. Don't consider if force is small magnitude, it is useless. Normally, if force is small magnitude, we consider it as useless, but that is not correct. If force is small magnitude, it tries to change. If force is a large magnitude, it changes. So the force is defined as an action which tries to change or changes. What it changes or what it tries to change, either the rest condition or the uniform motion of body on which the force is applied. This is the definition of force obtained from Newton's first law. So everyone go through the definition and try to understand the definition of force. I hope everyone knows in SI system we measure the force in newtons. If the force is a large magnitude, you measure that force in kilonewton. 1 kilonewton is equal to 10 power 3 newtons. That is the difference only. So in the SI system, the unit of force is Newton. So please go through the definition of force. The force is defined as an action which tries to change or changes either the state of rest, that is rest condition, or the state of uniform motion of body on which it is applied, the force is applied. This is the definition of force from Newton's first law. Please go through this diagram. In the diagram, I applied the force on the rigid body. Just now I explained the definition of rigid body. Dear students, we know that in engineering mechanics, we consider every body as a rigid body. Then on this rigid body, I apply this force. So please go through this diagram. If this rigid body is in rest condition, if this force is small magnitude, that force tries to change the rest condition of body. If the body is in rest condition, if the force is a large magnitude, it changes the rest condition. Similarly, uniform motion. If the body is in uniform motion, if the force is small magnitude, it tries to change the uniform motion. If the body is in uniform motion, if the force is a large magnitude, it changes the uniform motion. The force is acting on the body, not in the air. By applying the force away from the body, if I want to change the condition of body, not possible. To change the condition of body, you must apply the force directly on the body. That's why we are calling the force as an action. So here we apply the force on the body to change this condition of body, either the rest condition or uniform motion. Observe this diagram. The force is acting at a point in the body. This is the point where the force is acting on the body. What is this arrow indicates? Anyone give me the response? What is this arrow indicates, students?
FN, sir.
What is that arrow indicates?
Direction of
FN.
force, sir.
Very good, very good, very good. That arrow, please check the diagram. Everyone, please unmute the mics, please.
Direction, sir.
Okay, very good.
Direction.
Okay, please unmute the mics.
Okay, sir.
That arrow in the diagram indicates the direction of force. That point, check this diagram. The force is acting at a point in the body. This arrow indicates direction of force. F Newton indicates magnitude of force. So here in the diagram, this is the point where the force is acting on the body. Arrow indicates direction of force. F Newton indicates magnitude of force. So observe this diagram. If I apply the force on the body, the force is acting at a point on the body. This is called point of application of force on the body. We call this point as the point of application of force on the body. This arrow is called direction of force. In engineering mechanics, please listen everyone. In engineering mechanics, this direction is called line of action of force. In the lower classes, you call this arrow as direction. That is correct. But in engineering mechanics, we treat this direction of force as the line of action of force. And you know this F Newtons is the magnitude of force. So from this diagram, you can observe this point of application of force on the body, the line of action of force on the body, and also the magnitude of force on the body. So whenever I apply the force on the rigid body, that force has point of application on the body. The point where the force is acting on the body is called point of application. And that force is having line of action. That force is having the magnitude. These three are called. What are those three? Point of application, line of action, and the magnitude. These are three are called the characteristics of force. So the force has three characteristics. When the force is acting on the body, check that characteristics of force. The force has three characteristics. Whenever the force is acting on the body, that force has three characteristics. What is the first characteristic? The force must have the magnitude, 10 newtons, 20 newtons, 30 newtons, like that. The force must have point of application. Point of application means the point where the force is acting on the body. That is called point of application. Third one is the force must have direction or the line of action. We call these three: the magnitude of force, the point of application of force, the direction of force or line of action of force as characteristics of force. So like that, the force has three characteristics: the magnitude of force, the point of application of force, and the line of action of force. These three are called the characteristics of force. So go through this diagram. So check the diagram in the cell phones. We have a rigid body. On the rigid body, we apply that force, external force. So check this diagram. In the rigid body, the force is acting at point A in the rigid body. We call this point. This point is in the body, not in the air or away from the body. This point is inside the body. At point A, the force is acting on the body. We call this point A as point of application of force. The point at which the force is acting on the body is called point of application of force. Then this is direction of force. We also call this as the line of action of force. This 50 newtons is called magnitude of force. So when the force is acting on the body, that force has three characteristics. One is point of application of force, Second one is line of action of force. Third one is magnitude of force. These three are called the characteristics of force. So first we discussed the definition of force from Newton's first law. Then I explained the characteristics of force. The force has three characteristics. First one, the point of application of force. Second one, the line of action of force or the direction of force. Third one, the magnitude of force. These three are called the characteristics of force. So the basic concepts of force. First, the definition of force, then the characteristics of force. With this, we are going to study the system of forces in engineering mechanics. System of forces. What is meant by system of forces in engineering mechanics? Please check this previous diagram. Give me the response. How many forces acting on the body in the diagram?
One force, sir. Single
Okay.
force.
Okay. So everyone check this diagram. Here the body is subjected to only one force. Only one force is acting on the body. Now please go through this diagram. How many forces are acting on the body here?
Four, sir.
Four, sir.
Four forces.
Four,
Four,
four.
sir.
Check those. Please everyone. Check those four forces acting on the body. First force. Check this first force. The first force F1. First
Zero.
force F1. This is the point of application. Just now we discussed the characteristics. This is the point of application of first force. This is the line of action of first force. And the first force is having the magnitude of 10 newtons. Check this line of action, direction. The direction of first force is away from the body. The direction of first force is away from the body. Check the second force. The second force, this is the point of application. 15 newtons is the magnitude of force, and this is the line of action. The first force, line of action towards the body. Check this arrow please, towards the body. The third force, point of application, line of action away from the body, magnitude is 12 newtons. And fourth force, F4. This is the point of application, and this is the line of action towards the body, and the magnitude is 8 newton. In the previous diagram, the body is subjected to only one force, whereas in this diagram, the body is subjected to four forces, number of forces. These four forces are having different magnitudes and different line of actions. When the rigid body is subjected to number of forces, when the rigid body is subjected to number of forces, these number of forces of different magnitudes and different line of actions. When the rigid body subjected to number of forces, these number of forces of different magnitudes and different line of actions is known as force system. That is the definition. Force system means number of forces, not the one force. If one force is acting on the body, we cannot call that one force as force system. But if the body is subjected to number of forces, more than one force, that those number of forces need not be the same magnitude. Those number of forces need not be the same line of action. So the number of forces of different magnitudes and different line of actions acting on the rigid body is called the force system. So in this diagram, we can say the rigid body is subjected to the force system because the rigid body is under the action of number of forces. That is the meaning of the force system. In the previous diagram, only one force is acting on the body. We will not call this one force as force system. It is simply one force only. The body is subjected to only one force. Whereas In this diagram, the body is subjected to number of forces. These number of forces are having different magnitudes. These number of forces are having different points of applications. These number of forces are having different directions. We call this number of forces as the force system acting on the rigid body. That is the definition of force system. Please go through the definition. When several forces, several means number of forces. When several forces of various magnitudes and directions, they may be of different directions. Some forces away from the body, some forces towards the body. They are of different directions, act simultaneously at a time. Simultaneously on a rigid body, then the rigid body is said to be subjected to the force system. So the force system means it is nothing but the number of forces acting on the rigid body. So whenever number of forces are acting on the rigid body, we call those number of forces as force system. So in this diagram, the rigid body is under the action of a force system because it is subjected to number of forces. Dear students, please give me the response. Any doubt regarding that force system? If anybody is having doubt about that force system, please ask me. Understand the concepts clearly, please. My intention is to give the concepts to you. If you have any doubts at any stage, please don't hesitate to ask me. Tell me, what is force system? Any one of you give me the response. What is force system? Dear students, please give me the response. What is force system?
Forward direction, backward direction, sir.
Not that forward, backward. Away from the rigid body towards the rigid body.
Can I speak, sir?
Away from the rigid body.
Towards the rigid body. F1 away from the rigid body. Check the
F1,
direction.
F1, F2, F1,
Away from
F3,
the
sir.
rigid body. F2 towards the rigid body. Like that.
Onward.
Not just forward, please leave. Avoid that language. Forward, backward, avoid that language in engineering mechanics.
Okay.
Away from the rigid body towards the rigid body. Use that language. Not the forward, backward, please.
Okay, sir.
Try to improve the knowledge. Come out from the lower. In engineering mechanics, try to increase that level of knowledge first. So
okay,
understand this in the higher level, please. Avoid that low category. It is not forward, backward. It is away from the body towards the body. Check this arrow. You can understand it clearly. Here this arrow away from the body.
Away from the rigid body, sir.
Towards the body. F2 towards the body. So
F2,
like
F4.
that, check this directions. You can understand.
Okay, sir.
Can I speak, sir?
Okay, please.
So, a system has more than one force acting on a acting. It is known as force system.
Yeah, if more than one force of different magnitudes and different directions. So check the diagram. Everyone, please check the diagram. In the diagram, the rigid body is subjected to 4 different forces acting at different points of applications. Just now I explained characteristics of force. Whenever the force is acting on the body, the force has 3 characteristics. One is point of application, second one is line of action, third one is magnitude. You can observe those 3 characteristics for every force in the diagram. Every force F1, this is the point of application. Here the force is acting on the body. This is point of application. This is the line of action. This is the magnitude. Every force, not only F1, F2, It has point of application, the line of action, and also magnitude. F3, point of application, line of action, and magnitude. F4, point of application, line of action, and magnitude. Every force, whenever from today's class onwards, whenever we discuss the force, please focus on the three characteristics. The force has three characteristics: point of application, line of action, and magnitude. Compulsorily keep these three characteristics of force in mind. So in the diagram, the rigid body is subjected to number of forces, 4 forces. That is called several forces. These number of forces are having different points of application, different line of actions, different magnitudes, but we call these number of forces together as force system. That is meaning. These number of forces acting on the rigid body is called the force system. That is the definition of force system. So when the number of forces acting on the rigid body simultaneously, those number of forces has different magnitudes, different points of application, and different directions or line of actions, we call those number of forces as force system. Then in the force system, we have different types of force systems. So please everyone go through those types of force systems. We have in engineering mechanics 6 types of force systems. What are those different types of force systems? First one is collinear force system. Second one is coplanar force system. Third one is coplanar parallel force system. Fourth one is coplanar concurrent force system. Fifth one is non-coplanar force system. Sixth one is non-coplanar concurrent force system. So like that, we have 6 types of force systems. First of all, you should understand clearly force system. Force system means number of forces. We know that force system is number of forces. That force systems has 6 types. The force system is of 6 types: collinear force system, coplanar force system, coplanar parallel force system, coplanar concurrent force system, non-coplanar force system, and non-coplanar concurrent force system. So everyone know about this force system, number of forces. Now coming to this collinear force system. When we call this force system as collinear force system, collinear means same straight line. That is the meaning of collinear. The meaning of collinear is same straight line. Check this diagram. Here we have number of forces. Number of forces. All these forces are acting on the same straight line. These number of forces are acting on the same straight line. These number of forces are having different directions. F1, F2, same direction. F3, opposite direction. Even though these forces are having different directions, these forces are having different magnitudes, but all the forces line of action is on the same straight line. Since we have 3 forces, we call the 3 forces as force system. But in this force system, the line of action of F1, line of action of F2, line of action of F3 lying on the same straight line. We call this force system as collinear force system. If the number of forces lying on the same straight line or the line of action of number of forces lying on the same straight line of different magnitudes, we call that force system as a collinear force system. That is the meaning of collinear force system. Line of actions lying on the same straight line is called collinear. So read the definition of collinear force system. The forces whose line of actions will lie on the same straight line are known as the collinear forces or the collinear force system. So the line of action of all forces in the force system. We know that force system means number of forces. The forces are having line of action, that is the characteristic. If all the line of action of forces lie on the same straight line, we call that force system as a collinear force system. We have one best example, real example for this collinear force system. Dear students, I hope you know the tug of war game. Tug of war game, some person standing on one side of the thread, some person standing on other side of the string. So in the tug of war game, we have a long string thread, long thread. In the tug of war game, some person standing on one side of the thread, some person standing on the other side of that, they are pulling that thread towards them. In that tug of war, the forces applied by the persons acting on the thread, along the thread, all forces, the forces applied by the persons are acting along that thread only. Since all forces are acting along that thread, you can call that tug of war is an example of the collinear force system, because in the tug of war game, the forces, all forces are acting on the same thread only, along the length of the thread. So the tug of war game is an example for this collinear force system. If all forces line of action lie on the same straight line, we call that force system as a collinear force system. Any doubt, students, in this collinear force system? If you have doubts in this collinear force system, please ask me. Any doubts in this collinear force system?
No doubt, sir.
Okay. And in the next class, I will explain the remaining types of force systems. We have coplanar force system, coplanar concurrent force system, like that. We have other types of force systems. I will explain the remaining types of force systems in next class. But at present, everyone keep in mind, force system means the number of forces acting on the rigid body. And in that force system, we have different types of force systems. Just now I explained the collinear force system, and in the next class, I will explain the remaining types of force systems. With this, I am going to stop the today's class. Thanks to one and all. We will continue this discussion of types of force systems in tomorrow class. If anybody is having doubts, please ask me. Otherwise, you please leave from the class. Okay, students, if anybody is having doubts, you please ask me. If you are not having the doubts, you please leave from the class.